This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by Smile, the makers of the brand new PDF Pen 6, PDF Pen Pro 6, and PDF Pen for iPad and PDF Pen for iPhone. Find out more about all the flavors of PDF Pen at smilesoftware.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. I'm at AltWWDC in San Francisco. I'm here with Matt of Canopy talking about the new Sensus case for your iPhone, which is just stick with us, folks, because it's a little bit different than what you might expect from any other iPhone case. Matt, it's great to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you and nice to talk with you. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about Sensus. Sensus is the world's first capacitive iPhone case. And what that means is we've actually put sensors into an enclosure on the iPhone. So we've actually introduced a sensor here and into the entire back. So it's multi-touch. We can actually get 10 points or 10 gestures actually pushed through the case and then directly into the phone. So what that means is now we can actually take control of the content that's on your mobile device. And it's interesting because we can scroll through emails, browsing. If I wanted to take a picture, I could set this up as a developer. You would be able to actually use this as a slider or a fader, but then also break it up into 4 different buttons if you wanted to. And so we have an SDK for developers to take advantage of today, and soon we'll be shipping the first round of hardware development kits for iPhone 5 in about a month. So about into July, you'll be able to receive that as well and start to develop for this product. We're aiming to shoot for the end of this year in big box retail, online, and then through mobile applications. And we have a early launch partner program, so applications or developers who come on early, we're doing a lot with that. So
this is fascinating because we're all used to having the front of the iPhone as a control surface. This turns pretty much the whole phone into a control surface. For music apps, for accessibility, we were talking pre-interview about accessibility and what this means for that. Talk a little bit about that and the implications there.
Yeah, so we've developed in-house a Braille keyboard. So it's taking the notion of the 6 nodes in Braille, the top 2, the middle 2, and the bottom 2 of Braille, and the way that I actually hold and position my fingers in these spots. And then in kind of that cadence, I'm able to type. And then with accessibility on, those letters are spoke back, words are spoke back. And we've actually have gotten as far as partnering with a company in San Francisco called Flexi. And they've built and designed a predictive text engine that we're utilizing to actually make that experience even better for non-blind folk as well. But it's interesting to see the correlation between the 2 different groups of sight challenged and not sight challenged, and people, how they can actually type faster using their engine. It's really, really wild. And so we're starting the first, this is crazy too, it's like the first reverse keyboard on mobile. That's really new, and it's very experimental at this point. But as the next few coming months here, we're going to explore so that developers can take advantage of that. And it can be second nature of, typing in portrait or in landscape.
And as you do this, I mean, the screen is jumping, and unfortunately, folks can't see it. But I mean, there's no delay. It's not like we have to hit and wait and see what happens. You're scrolling that's as smooth as any scroll I would do with my finger on the front of the iPhone. And the implications for all kind of things, text entry, games, again, I think I said music, it's kind of staggering.
Yeah, and actually on the music side, there's a company called Square B. They have an application you can download today called VO. And it's like a performance music application where if you plug in your headset and speak through the iPhone, it'll do the voice manipulation. They've got this really great visualization by it. And they took our hardware and the SDK. They're actually in our neighborhood based out of Minneapolis. They spent a day, and they took 3 surfaces and added a settings feature in their app so that I can switch between a drum machine on the front, drum machine on the back, or a sweep effect based upon the XY position of where I am. It's what's really interesting is it turned a simple one layer application into like this toy. And I'll be demoing a little bit of that later, but yeah, it's a total toy. this particular application is a developer out of Vancouver, Canada, and his name is Sunny Tam, and he's built this really great, it's called a bullet hell shooter. It's one of the more pretty, very in-your-face space shooters that you can, get. So there's lots of bullets, there's patterns, and you're doing this, typically. But because your fingers get in the way for these types of gaming, it's just difficult to get high scores, and I'm sure there's people out there who are doing all sorts of crazy, playing this nonstop, and they get really good at it. But I guarantee those people who have been playing this game nonstop, if they got a hold of this with Sunny's game, I guarantee they'd just be like, "This is easy." It's just more immersive.
Yeah, well, and again, you're touching the back of the phone to be clear here.
Yeah. See if the camera can kind of pick this up. And actually, that weapon you just saw, there's actually a second gesture that I did on the back. So we're going to have learn a whole new set of skills with this case, but the implications are really interesting. And what also intrigues me, yes, I'm used to this kind of interface where I see what I'm pointing to, but in back, as long as there's any kind of control or point of reference, I don't have to learn that much, I guess. No, you wouldn't. And part of the experience that we're putting with the SDK, we're not just saying we're just a hardware company and then leaving developers all by themselves. That's not the point here. The point here is, like you said, there's actually a level of education, and we're actually providing that with our companion application. So it's the application that comes with the product, and it's going to showcase all of the applications that take advantage of Sensus. That is key, because we have a new way of basically stating, here's this grip style. If I'm holding my phone in this style and I'm scrolling, here's all the applications that benefit from that. So we're educating people and then providing developers through the SDK all of those graphical pieces they can put in, all of the rules. They can break those rules, of course, but we would still showcase those applications in here to appropriately explain to consumers how to best, use the product with that particular app. So that one we just saw with the shooter, and how I'm holding it like this and I've got the one finger, that's a grip style. Or if I'm holding it like this and I'm using one finger on the back. Another grip style. Exactly. And then we would show consumers like that app and all of these other apps all take advantage of that style.
It's fascinating. When I saw the case, it said app enhancing case. It's like, yeah, right, app enhancing case. That just sounds like one more marketing speak thing. And then you showed it to me. It's like, wow, this does have the chance to change things for so many people. Mm-hmm. And it's, especially the accessibility part, I think really is intriguing.
Yeah, that's a big deal. We don't take that very lightly. We've waited months to kind of come out and be very appropriate about that. Because we, as a developer, and because we're MFI licensed with Apple, which means made for iPhone, etc., we're actually pushing the processing from the sensors into our chips into the phone directly. And that's a different set of rules than a normal iOS developer. And so we have access to things in the accessibility market that we have to be very appropriate with. For example, in the low vision aspects of the product and how sight-challenged groups of people can now actually hold up the phone close to their eye, but then zoom in and out and do multi-gesturing here. Before they're moving back and forth, zooming and pinching, and then going. So now they said, well, what about if we could just hold it here and then move the content around? We said, not a problem.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It really is. So if I'm a developer or someone who wants to integrate these APIs, where do I go?
You can go to getsensus.com. That's GETSENSUS.com. And specifically, there's a developer portal. That's developer.getsensus.com. Either way, they'd be able to find where to go, register, sign up. Like I said, we have HDKs, hardware development kits, coming out in about a month for iPhone 5.
Matt, it's great. It's a very exciting product, I must say. Thank you so much for showing it to us.
Yeah, no, thank you for the time.
Folks, I'll have more from AltWWDC in San Francisco. I'm Chuck Joyner, and this is MacVoices. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, app.net, Google+, Facebook, and for more Apple, Mac, and tech-related shows, including Mac Voices, Mac Notables, the Mac Jury, and the Mac Voices Briefing. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com.